Welcome back. This is Take Charge of Your Health with Corine Furnari, clinical nutritionist and physician assistant, and my co-host, Carol Petersen, pharmacist. Every week, we present you with new and creative ways to help you make sense of health information and bring it home to you and your family. With years of clinical experience between us and research into traditional and cutting-edge technologies, we give you practical information to help you take charge of your health. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're here again. And Carol,
Yes.
I'm here with my co-host Carol, and we've got part 2 of our conversation on the liver. Welcome, Carol.
Well, particularly fatty liver.
Fatty liver, but
I think there's other things that can go wrong. Or is it all one continuum? I'm not sure I saw whether it was like you start with fatty liver and it progresses, or can you just go directly to like liver cirrhosis for some reason? I don't know.
Well, it all depends. I know someone who went directly to liver cirrhosis because she had such a severe toxicity. So she didn't go to fatty liver. She went directly. But I think that's more unusual. I think that people generally go to fatty liver and then it progresses. Today I just want to talk a little bit about the liver, and then I want to focus a lot on what we can do to support it. And so I just want to say that the liver weighs about 2 kilograms, which is maybe 2% of your body weight. And at any time, it's holding 10% of your body's entire blood volume. It processes about a liter every minute, a liter of blood a minute. It's an amazing organ. It's a chemical factory. It's literally the high security border and a control, a storage unit, and a waste management plant all in one, all running. It's not made of regular cells like when you cut the tissue. It's made of microscopic hexagons for higher concentration and higher contact with the blood that's flowing through it. So today we're going to be going from anatomy to application so that we can see what we can do to help this sometimes very forgotten organ and how we can help it and support it to allow it to support us. There's two little things I want to bring up. There's one, when you lie on your back, you put your hands on your belly on the right-hand side, on the upper part below the ribs, and put pressure. Now, many times there's nothing. You feel nothing. But sometimes, and quite often, we're dealing with a tenderness. And what is that? That's a swollen liver. That's a liver that needs a little help. You take a blood test, nothing. But it's a liver that needs a little help. There's another way. Sometimes we feel like we slept wrong, and there's pain always on our right side, going up into the neck, like we've got a little tightness in the neck, or even a little stronger. Now, what happens with the way the nerves run, it runs up our back into the neck. And sometimes that tenderness in our belly and the tenderness on the right side moving up into the neck can be a telltale sign that our liver's calling out and saying, help me. So, Carol, I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, well, I'll continue along that. So some of the signs outside of the pain you were talking about, persistent fatigue and weakness, general feeling of being unwell. When it gets worse, you can have yellowing of the skin and eyes, jaundice. You can have swelling in your abdominal cavity as you get more and more fatty liver. It actually enlarges. You can have itchy skin, and you can have spider-like blood vessels under the skin. You can have swollen legs, and confusion and cognitive issues, all because your liver is overloaded. So we're going to talk about what we can be doing to protect our liver. I'd like to, if I could, insert in here, because it's such a big issue with hormones. And it's an aside, but not really. You referred to it a bit, like when you eat something, your food and everything in the portal vein goes right to the liver from your small intestine.
Digestive tract.
Yeah, your digestive tract takes it right there. And so it starts getting rid of it right away. The liver's onto it. So some of the nutrition from that food is only partially absorbed. And the same goes for oral hormones. People have been saying not to use oral hormones because it's going to go to the liver first and your body's going to get rid of it. You should use hormones sublingually on the skin, rectally, vaginally. All these avoid the first liver pass. So that means that you avoid going through the portal vein into the liver. But this is actually a technique not to protect the liver. It increases the amount of your active ingredient or your hormone temporarily until it gets to the liver. And all that blood flow that you were talking about, 1 liter per minute, was it? It takes an average of 90 seconds for any place on your body to get to the liver. In the case of hormones, what protects your liver is if you stick to hormones that are normally found in your body. If you use substances on your skin and sublingually, rectally, vaginally, all those things, if you use any kind of active ingredient that is non-bioidentical, it is an enhancement of the amount of that particular active ingredient in the blood, and it does not protect the liver in this case. Only the bioidentical nature of those hormones that are identical to the body protect your liver. You're born with the ability to metabolize these by the liver.
Well, it's really quite remarkable, the job that the liver does. Everything you absorb from your stomach and liver and intestines goes straight to your liver. And with that, it's doing two things. One, it's absorbing the nutrients, but it's also blocking the ability, it's blocking excess, it's blocking bacterial, because food that we take in is not pure and clean. It has to be cleansed through the liver to be able to go throughout the body. And that's what the liver does. It works very hard. There's a whole line of macrophages, which are little white blood cells. They're almost like Pac-Man, and they're lined up. And what happens is they eat the bacteria or any irregular parts in the blood and clean it before it goes back into the body. So the liver is doing a very big job. It's also, it balances our blood sugar. If the blood sugar is too low, it releases glycogen, which is a form of blood sugar. Could
I insert here? Liver insomnia. You just related to glycogen, stored glucose by the liver. This is the reason that when you go to bed at night, you're fasting. So you're using up that stored glycogen from the liver. And if you wake up during the night, and often it's early morning hours, if you haven't stored enough glycogen, then and had glucose to use, your blood glucose goes down, and this is immediately a stress response, and your body turns on the adrenaline, which has a function in bringing up your blood sugar. So if this is part of what's going on with you, this was identified in like the 1930s by some endocrinologists, and they called it liver insomnia. And they did a diagnostic with eating an apple, which would bring the blood glucose up and give you a little fiber so it would last. And so it would be something you could do. You could eat something, but an apple was practically ideal. And there was your diagnosis for liver insomnia.
And see, what's happening is we're eating so much and so continuously. Oh, I had dinner. Oh, I need some dessert. Oh, I think I need a snack before bed. You have to understand when you're eating continuously like that, your body is storing and storing and storing. There's 1 degree of that, but then your insulin goes up. When your insulin goes up, the liver can't do its job. When insulin is active, it blocks the active breakdown of fats and particles that the liver is doing. It can't function perfectly or correctly. So the liver needs times of fasting or times when the body is not ingesting so it can work appropriately and allow your literally liver to catch up in the cleansing. So part of what we're looking at is that one part of helping your liver is this fad, I'm saying that in quotes, because it really isn't. It's this fad called intermittent fasting. You're giving your liver breaks throughout the day that it can continue its work without being overwhelmed by food and new products that need to be broken down. And the liver, understand, is balancing everything. 3/4 of your active thyroid is converted in the liver. The liver breaks down the triglycerides. The liver also, if your cholesterol is low, the liver will make cholesterol.
Yeah, and there are people with low cholesterol. And because this is the basic building block for hormones and cellular repair, low cholesterol is a big problem. And you have to get your liver to make you more. So this is a really little bit of a complication. Conventional medicine seems to think that it doesn't matter how low you go in cholesterol.
Oh, my goodness.
I think it's very alarming.
I just had a patient, a man who exercises well built, eats very well. He's on a statin, and they've got his blood level, total cholesterol, 110.
Oh, my God.
I said, wait, there must be a mistake. No, it's 110. My cardiologist is very happy. I said, let me see your blood test before we go farther. I look at his blood test, it's 110. And they've got him there. And,
some of my most
he can't make immune cells. He doesn't have enough cholesterol to build testosterone or maintain testosterone. And he wonders why he feels stressed all the time.
He probably feels terrible.
Yeah, well, he doesn't feel terrible, but he doesn't feel as good as he could if it was better balanced. So understand what your liver is doing for you. It's also helping you break down proteins. And what are the byproducts? It's nitrogen. And what does nitrogen turn into? Ammonia. And what is ammonia to the brain? It's toxic. So it's a toxic byproduct. So if the liver isn't working correctly, your body can accumulate ammonia. So now I think we've given enough proof for why we have to protect the liver. Understand there's 3 phases of liver activity. Phase 1 is that it immediately moves the toxins from the blood, all different kinds, from the food, from metals, whatever. It moves it from the blood. But then there's phase 2, where those toxins are packaged. They're packaged up in a P450 pathway. They're packaged up, but they're still toxic. Actually, they're packaged up, combined, and they're made more toxic. So if phase 2 isn't working right, the liver is being damaged by the fact that it's pulling these poisons into it. But then there's a 3rd phase, and that 3rd phase is bile, where the liver makes the bile, which coats these toxins, pushes it into the gallbladder, and then pushes it into the bowels, and the body then removes it if the bowels are working. That's another big if the bowels are working. So it's a 3-phase process. What?
Yeah, you need the bile to allow the intestines to have motility. I remember that you told me that one of your big standby products for helping people with constipation is ox bile, supporting that bile, and that will in turn allow better intestinal mobility. So that's a point that you should be checking into if chronic constipation is an issue. Corinne, should we give out the phone number?
Oh, yes. The phone number is 212. 212. Tell me the phone number, Carol. 212. I went blank. Okay. So I'll do this. The 4th function is the bile formation. Without the bile, you can't absorb vitamin A, vitamin D, E, or K. And those are essential for our health.
Or fats in general.
All fats in general, but...
Here's the number. Are you ready for
the number? Thank you. I changed my desk, and I've had the number on my desk all the time.
212-209-2877. 209-2877.
Okay, so
please join the conversation.
Tell
us what's going on with you and your liver. Tell us if you've had success, how you take care of your liver.
You know, the liver is the only organ that totally can regenerate. You can lose up to 70% of your liver mass, and it'll grow back. That's how important the body says. Now, mice models, it grows back to its exact original size, and quickly in mice, they've seen regeneration of 70% of the liver in 7 days.
Oh, that's remarkable.
That's called a superpower. So that's what we're looking at. So, Carol?
Okay, so what are some of the lifestyle things you can do to protect your liver? And this is the same old. You eat whole foods. You don't use processed foods. You don't eat garbage. You don't eat foods with high fructose corn syrup sweetener. And the sweetener stuff is pervasive. If you're buying things that are packaged and it's got something to sweeten it, it's probably high fructose corn syrup. If you're drinking sodas, if you're eating bakery goods all over the place. It's prevalent in the United States for this high fructose corn syrup. And this indeed can be the initiation step for causing fatty liver, because fructose, this high fructose, has a different liver metabolism, and it goes straight to creating fat from the fructose. There's no alternative metabolism. So one of the biggest lifestyle changes that you could make is to avoid high fructose corn syrup. Now, a good question about this. What about fructose in fruits? Do you want to cover that?
Yes, but also I want to say this first. High fructose corn syrup is hidden everywhere. It's hidden in any boxes that you buy, any crackers. It's hidden in all processed foods. So don't assume that you're not getting it because you're not eating sodas. So what you want to do is you want to really try to avoid all foods. You want foods like they were meant to be. You want to see broccoli, very important, because the broccoli has high fiber, very good for the liver. If you want some meat, eat some meat. Wonderful. But don't eat, if you want some tofu, make sure it's organic. But don't eat the soy isolates, that synthetic soy that they're making. Make sure if you're going to eat some tofu, eat it once in a while, but but make sure it's organic. And then switching to clean foods that look like they're still in nature, very important, that came from nature, actually, very important. Eggs are very good for the liver. They're very high in choline, which helps the liver make bile. It helps the liver cleanse itself also. But you asked me a question, Carol. Oh, the difference between high fructose corn syrup and an apple. Apples have high fructose, but they're very high in fiber. So that fructose is digestion and absorbed at a very slow rate, and the body then can manage it. It doesn't overwhelm the liver. It doesn't overwhelm the liver. Every time you eat, you spike insulin, and insulin stops the fat burning that the liver's doing. If you want to strip fat off your liver, you need long periods of low insulin. So another piece of lifestyle is intermittent fasting. And what they're saying, that first of all, you don't eat until you're really hungry. You don't eat because it's breakfast time and you've always eaten breakfast time. If you're not hungry, don't eat. You don't eat if it's dinner time and you're not hungry. You eat when you're hungry. When you wake up, your cortisol is naturally high and it's mobilizing all the stored sugar. If you're not hungry, don't eat, because you'll interfere with that process with your cortisol.
That's
so
right. Your blood sugar goes up in the morning.
Your blood sugar naturally goes up in the morning.
Helping you go out to hunt.
Oh, good. Just what I always do, particularly on Mondays.
You have to go out and hunt for your food.
Yes, yes.
And putting on your coat if you need it right now, and going out someplace where you can gather your food. You have chickens. You can grab some eggs.
We grab eggs every night. And so we've got fresh eggs every day. Our neighbors come, do you have any extra chicken, any extra eggs? Because they're the best tasting eggs around. But what is happening when you attempt to space your eating? They're mentioning that you In the process of attempting to cleanse the liver, you eat twice a day. You wait as long as you can to start eating. And so if it's 11 or 12, they're recommending. And then you eat at 5 o'clock. There's no snacks in between. You eat to satisfaction, but then after dinner, you can drink ginger tea. You can do whatever you want, but you cannot eat food. And what will happen, first 2 or 3 days you might feel a little hungry, but what will happen is that is that your body will switch from a sugar burning organism to a fat burning organism. And once that happens, you're starting to clean your liver.
That's right. I was listening to, and I shared it with you, I think we both listened to David Minkoff.
Oh, he was wonderful.
Yeah, about fatty liver. And one of the things he said was that he had a patient and he put her on amino acids. And
a water fast.
And a water fast for a week.
So pills and a water fast.
She lost 11 pounds.
In 7 days.
Yeah, you've had some experience with working with amino acids. And would you try this, or would you recommend this for people to do?
Well,
do
it
this?
was really wonderful what David Minkoff said. He said, you got to remember, everybody's detoxing, so they cut everything out, or they have vegetable juices. The problem with that is that enzymes are made of proteins, and enzymes are what allow your body to detox. Proteins do two things. They create the enzymes, they give you the substrate to create the enzymes, but they also tag the toxins. So you have a double action. You're tagging the toxins to remove from the body, but you're giving the body the substrate that it needs to keep the enzymes healthy and remove the toxins from the body. He said that if you're not taking the proteins, you could back up in that second phase that we were talking about that toxifies the liver, and you can overwhelm yourself. Sometimes we used to call it, what was it? When the body would react negatively, we used to call it
Herxheimer.
We called it Herxheimer, but there was another name for it. And what that was, really and truly, we said, oh, well, that, I'd hear people say that tells me it's working. I know that it's working. I'm getting a little sick from what I'm doing. And now we know it's a Herxheimer, which is an overreaction, but we also know what it's telling us. It's a backup. It's the liver is backing up and it can't handle the load. And that's why you're getting sick. So, one, you need the proteins, but it would be really important to drink an electrolyte drink. You need the potassium, you need the magnesium, you need the complete cytokine storm. That's what it's called. That's one of them. Jeremy just sent it over to me, and what happens is that you need all of that to be able to remove the toxins from the body. Detoxing is wonderful, but if you're not supporting it in a way that works for your body, it's not so wonderful. You're just stirring everything up and making your body work too hard without what it needs to be able to deal with the extra load. Carol?
That's where a good salt would come in, like red
Exactly.
salt, or a few of the salts have they have just a whole plethora of minerals your body needs. So anytime you're fasting, it's a good idea to have extra salt. But your adrenal glands really need a lot of salt. As sort of an aside here, not the liver, but your body in general does much better if you have salt support. So what about exercise?
Exercise stimulates circulation, and what happens is that when you stimulate circulation, you make everything move a little more effectively. But when you're in a fast, like a water fast with just protein, you don't want to do heavy exercise. You want to do motion and exercise, but not so extreme that because your body's just not up to it. There's another thing that you can do.
We have a caller. Would you like to
Oh,
start with
my
the caller?
goodness. Okay. Hi. You're live. Your name, please?
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. Can you speak up?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now we can.
Now I can, but if you could even talk a little bit louder, it'd be very helpful.
Oh, good. Can you hear me if I speak like this?
Yes. Your name, please?
Okay, so Helen,
Hi, Helen.
hi. So thank you. You two are just dynamic. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. Two things. One, coffee enemas. I've been doing coffee enemas for like, oh God, 25 years. And I
Really?
find them, yeah, if a person can learn, and it sounds nasty to people, but if you can learn and get the right, equipment, you can order it to do it. I find them, I've read in different books that they're very good for the liver to increase peristaltic action too. And I also find that they help if you have like urinary tract issues because I read that if you help yourself with constipation, your urine out, you help that part too. Okay.
That's
And
that.
I also want to just say something, and I'm sure you two are going to have response, and then I'll hang up. I recently went to a doctor, and he says, "Oh, you have a urinary tract infection." He he prescribed something that I'm going to use. I say is abominable because when I read the warnings, it said severe this, severe that, and even death. It is
Uh-huh.
cipro, cipro, ciprofloxacin.
Yeah. Some people have a terrible reaction to it.
But it says here, right here in this warning, that it can even cause death. And I said,
Yes.
why would this? So I am going to take oregano that I can get at my local vitamin shop that does not say it could cause death if you take it. I'm only taking it twice a day. I can't believe that my doctor would prescribe this to me
Well,
and I could die.
well, it's very what you're talking about is very rare. Okay? It's not common or they wouldn't prescribe it. And that's important to understand. He's not prescribing something that'll generally kill you. But if you're using oregano, I've never used oregano for urinary tract infections. I would add to that cranberry, which is known to work for urinary tract infections. You could do cranberry. You could also add mannitose, which is a sugar that your body doesn't absorb. And it goes into the bladder where the urine is, and the bacteria love it because it's a sugar. So they cling to it, and your body then washes the bacteria out. There's another, it's called berberine. Berberine is also very good for urinary tract infections. So, but what I would do is I would get a checkup because very often you can control urinary tract infections but you want to get rid of them. So I would follow up and get my urine checked after you've been on these, whichever you choose, after you've been on them for a period of time. You want to make sure that the infection is gone because you don't want it walking up into the kidneys.
I'd like to jump in and talk about
Please.
the other thing you talked about is the coffee enemas. It's a
Oh, yes.
powerful tool for detoxing the liver. I've had women with big hormone problems. They have trouble with excreting hormones, even the bioidentical ones. And having the coffee enema provided some relief. I've known a person with cancer who was on narcotics, stopped using the narcotics with the coffee enema. And this was repeated 6 times a day. And I even I had the pleasure of visiting William Donald Kelly, who treated his own pancreatic cancer, and he's got a protocol for that that included coffee enemas. And so when I visited him, he continued, even after clearing the cancer, he continued those coffee enemas every single day. His hoses and coffee pot were right there in his apartment. So he never quit doing that. Powerful liver detox.
That Nicholas Gonzalez then
Then use that, yes.
used that coffee enemas in cancer protocols. So you don't want to do them every day. That's not advisable. But unless you're on a therapy for cancer and you're working with a practitioner, but using them once a week or once a month, I think they're just quite wonderful. And understand it's not straight coffee. It's quite diluted. And so I want you to understand that. So look up the formula before you go to attempt it. I'm also going to talk about what they call fat bombs, Carol. Do you know about fat bombs?
Before you go there, we have another caller. I don't know if you saw
Oh, okay. Hi, you're live. Oh, thank you, Helen. Hi, you're live. Your name, please?
Gwen.
You know what? I'm sorry.
Caller, that's you. Speak up.
I have terrible heartburn. Maybe it's GERD. Years ago, in order to drink coffee, because I loved it so much, I took Prilosec until I got insipid diabetes, and I finally stopped taking Prilosec, and I also stopped drinking coffee, and I continued to have a lot of acid. A couple of months ago, somebody told me about something called Zypan. He recommended that I take it in the middle of a meal, and it really worked
That's
well.
an enzyme.
Oh, what did he recommend that you
Zypan.
Zypan?
Zypan, Zypan.
Yes.
And
That's
in the beginning, it was like a miracle. It really, really was. I mean, it was like it just stopped it right away. But now it seems maybe my body's getting used to it and it's coming back. And I have constant heartburn. I go to bed at night and I have it when I'm sleeping and I have it in the morning. I also drink baking soda because that helps too. I don't take the two together, but when I was waiting to get this, or I was taking baking soda, which seemed to alleviate the symptoms. But I don't know what's causing this constant heartburn. I don't eat fried foods, but it seems like even an avocado, I know avocado has natural oil in it, that upsets it. Bread, I don't eat that much bread, but, I just seem to have this low-lying, I guess maybe it's GERD at this point. I don't know if it's acid or GERD or they're the same thing. But I wanted to know if this is normal, or do I have to go? I mean, I really don't feel like going and getting, this.
It's not normal.
Okay.
It's a dysfunction. You're having difficulty digesting. And Zypan is wonderful. It's a vegetable enzyme. And as you saw, you immediately responded to the Zypan. But it wasn't enough. And it's a vegetable enzyme, and it's more, as I remember, I have to look it up. Maybe you could look it up, Carol. As I remember, it's more for digesting carbs. It's not really helping much with proteins and fats. So
Oh,
I would do what?
I said,
But it's
okay.
wonderful. It's a very good one. But
I
what
think
I
it might increase your stomach acid. Zypan, they have a Zypan test for GERD that when you eat, you see how many Zypan tablets before it feels irritating. So it does help your stomach acid as well. So when you have reflux, you have some low-level fermentation acids. You don't have your real hydrochloric acid being adequate enough. One of the things that causes that is not enough zinc, and you don't
Oh,
make enough of your own HCl. You can
no.
supplement it. The best is to use betaine hydrochloride, is most used, and you dose accordingly to the amount of food you eat. If you have a very small meal, you don't need as much. If your meal is larger, you should use more to accommodate that digestion. You shouldn't eat within 5 hours of lying down to sleep. And this was for, what was the name of the woman we interviewed? She had a wonderful book about reflux. So you
Dr.
was it Joan,
No,
something like that.
started with a K. It wasn't Kramer,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
her
Well,
book was called Dropping Acid.
no, that's not her book. that was Dr.
Catchy.
Perlmutter's book
No,
on
no, no,
uric acid. No, it wasn't.
no, no.
Yeah, that wasn't her book. But she was specifically
She's
talking about how nasal congestion and draining down your throat from your sinuses during the night is actually a sign of reflux from your
Oh, wait a minute.
esophagus.
I had that too, ladies. I had that constant nasal drip all the
Yep.
time. It never stops. I didn't know whether it was my cats or what, but no, I have that all the time too. And recently, even sometimes I choke when I'm just drinking water, which kind of scared me because that
Yeah.
happened
So
to when he died.
that's all with reflux. One of my favorite things to use for that is deglycerinated licorice. You can see it abbreviated DGL usually on the label. You suck on it and get the kind you can suck on, and it works like a charm. So not only does it relieve the discomfort, it's healing for your mucosal membranes. So I really love that product. And I find just about everybody I recommend it to does really well on it.
and you can add to that because it's very drying. You can add to that a little aloe, just a little aloe
Oh yes,
gel, a
Alan. Yes.
tablespoon or a little bit of a 1 ounce
I remember the
glass.
name of the book, The
Which
Chronic Cough Enigma.
Oh yes, that one also.
Yeah.
She had, and what she talks about is the damage that happens with reflux.
Yeah, I've
And
been scared of.
and so it's very good that you're taking the baking soda because that will blunt the damage, if not
Oh, it's wonderful.
totally reverse it and block it from getting farther. But I also think you might want to work with probiotics. Have you worked with probiotics?
Yeah, I take probiotics. The only thing that I will tell you about zinc is that I used to take it regularly, but I find now that it gives me an upset stomach almost right away.
That,
It's like,
then you don't need that much. You've come to your limit. You take it every other day or once a week because
okay,
zinc is that's one way that you find out that you've got enough. Your body's saying you have enough. But there are some drinks that I like, and Dr. William Davis, who wrote the book that really focused people on the problems with wheat,
Wheat
talks
belly.
about a drink that you make. And that drink is you take vegetable pieces, like apple or maybe orange or even pomegranate. And you put it on the counter in a cup with a gauze material over it. And you leave it on your counter for 3 days. But in that cup, you put what they call Floristor or Saccharomyces boulardii. And you can take that in a capsule and just put it right in the cup. And it'll bubble. And after 3 days, the sugar is gone. And you drink it. And it's wonderful for your stomach and for your digestion. And it's wonderful for your digestion. And there is another way of making it. When I was in Mexico, they used to cut the skins off the pineapple and put them in a pot with some water with a weight on top of it and let it sit for 2 days, and then you would drink it. And again, that was a natural fermentation that was happening. So I love the idea of the deglycerized licorice. It really has been helpful. I've used it for over 20 years, and I put it with aloe, which is very soothing and healing, and it works, really works. So thank you for your call.
Thank you. That was interesting. Should we jump back to liver support?
Yeah, when you're in the process of converting from a sugar-burning metabolism to a fat-burning metabolism, there are things called, and sometimes it's difficult, but there are things called fat bombs that you can make up that help you make it through that time while your body is converting to be able to utilize fat. And you can make these fat bombs out of coconut oil that's coagulated, it's firmer, and some nuts and some flax seeds, ground up flax seeds, and they're no sugar, and they're snacks. They're really quite wonderful, and your body will get the energy without spiking the insulin, and eventually, after a couple of days, you won't need them because you'll have made it through to the conversion. So
should we talk about, how about one of the most popular liver herbs is milk thistle or silamara?
it's wonderful.
So this has been actually shown in tests to lower liver enzymes, which are ALT, AST. These are always on a metabolic panel and indicate, if they're elevated, indicates that your liver is stressed. And it also has been shown to diminish the liver fat, the fatty liver. So have you used this a lot in your practice, Corinne?
Yes, regularly. I use it regularly for a few things, but particularly for liver. And I put that together with dandelion because dandelion is also very good.
Yeah.
And green tea is very good. And each one of those herbals work on different phases of the liver action. Green tea, now you don't want too much green tea, but green tea is very, very effective to work on phase 1 and phase 2 of liver action, protecting you and helping the packaged toxic byproducts, helping them
Also-
to move out of the body. Go
Yeah,
on.
also because it's bitter, it actually increases your bile production, which is very
Oh,
helpful.
yes.
So berberine,
Well-
you mentioned berberine.
Berberine is a golden seal. It's also a bitter herb. I've heard the saying, bitter is for liver. any kind of bitter, arugula, berberine teas, cabbage and cauliflower. Those are really important for the liver. So I've heard, and you know what else is? But
What?
you don't want it, you've got to moderate this. Grapefruit helps the liver to release the bile. If you're
Yep, it
taking lots
absolutely
of, what?
It absolutely does. In fact, there's warnings for some
Exactly.
prescription drugs to avoid grapefruit because it increases the rate of metabolism of the drug.
Now,
So it's
you
a
know
good
what
thing,
else
though.
helps bile to remove bile from the body
What?
is a juice of blueberries and celery. They work very well, and you don't even need to make them into a juice. You just make a smoothie where you put a cup of water, some ice cubes, blueberries, and celery, blend it up, and then drink it down. And it helps the bile release from the liver. Very important. There are multiple other drinks that work with the liver to release bile to support liver function. You know what's really good for the liver are pomegranates. Very good for the liver. High in polyphenols, what the liver needs to protect itself. And another one is the capsules of resveratrol. Whenever you're dealing with reds and purples, you're dealing with resveratrol. And resveratrol, high in polyphenols, helps to protect the liver. Totally essential. I love giving liver teas to patients where they're
what's a
drinking
liver
tea. Oh, it's milk thistle, dandelion, artichoke. What's more bitter than an artichoke? I don't think there's anything more bitter. And you make a tea of it, and it's really that you can get them in the health food store. Liver teas, really quite delicious. And while you're drinking it, you're helping your liver cleanse itself.
Okay, one more. NAC.
Oh, very
N-acetylcysteine.
important. That's
That helps you make
glutathione
more
precursor.
Right. So that's a form of sulfur, which helps your body detox, liver detox. That's phase 2 conjugation that you need sulfur very, very much.
So you
Corinne,
know
look
what's
what time
happened?
it is. Yeah.
Yes, I know. It's time to start wrapping up. Carol, what is your website? Could you share that with us?
My website is the Wellness by Design Project. I've got lots of information there. And also I have a YouTube channel with the same name. I post a lot of good information that is practical and you can put to use. So please take advantage. And Corine?
Mine is Corine Health, and I post a lot of good information also. We have a Facebook page, Take Charge of Your Health Radio. We also have a very interesting page. We started a group called Progesterone for Men, and my goodness, are we getting response. So many people are so very interested in that topic. Come join us, join it, and see what you think. You can always comment. We also, this program is also live on YouTube right now, so you can write questions to us and we'll be glad to answer them. So thank you so much for spending this time with us. And thank you, Carol. When we're together, I always learn.
Yeah, we both do. We're smoking.
We're smoking. Yes, and it was fun today. Thank you.
Yes. Bye.
Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Jeremy. Thanks for helping us. Bye-bye. And we'll be back next week.